Welcome back to episode 19 of the Washed Up Sports Podcast. We are your Washed Up Sports hosts,
Patrick Quinn,
host Ortiz,
and I'm Bobby Hanscom. Today is Monday, June 17th as we're recording. So on today's episode, we'll be talking about the Dallas Mavericks holding off a sweep of the Boston Celtics on Friday to make it a 3-1 series headed back to Boston after a surprising 40-point blowout.
The Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers split games in Edmonton as they head back to Florida in a 3-1 series lead.
We'll be giving you a complete preview of Copa America 2024, which begins in a couple days. Along with our producer, Zach, we'll be going over how the tournament works, a short breakdown of each group. We'll be talking about who makes it out of the group and a couple dark horse teams and our picks to win it all. We'll also be doing a fun game with Bobby during this soccer segment where he guesses what countries players are from. So stick around for that.
God, this could be ugly.
We will then talk about some random news in the sports world over the weekend.
And we'll finish off the show with Washed Up Wagers. We'll recap our picks from last episode and make 3 new selections apiece for this week. The Dallas Mavericks crushed the Boston Celtics 122-84 in Game 4 on Friday night to keep their season alive. The Celtics were held to 35 points in the first half, and their lowest in any half under Joe Mazzulla, while Dallas led by 26 at halftime. The Celtics pulled their starters for most of the second half. Luka and Kyrie combined for 50 for the Mavs, most of which came in the first half. Obviously, just an awful game from the Celtics. I actually read somewhere where it was their 100th game of the season, where that was their worst offensive game all year and their third worst defensive game all year. So that's not going to happen. Good luck, Dallas. The series is now 3-1 with Game 5 in Boston tonight being Monday night. Can the Celtics close this thing out and win their 18th championship tonight?
They fucking better. God, they fucking better. I'm not nervous now or worried. If they lose tonight, the panic meter goes to fucking here.
Yeah.
And I don't like the interviews from Hauser and Tatum that we've been seeing today.
If we lose,
it's not the end of the world. We don't need to panic. Yes, you fucking do.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah. Win tonight. The spread's 7. Kristaps can play if needed. We don't need him. Fucking killer mentality. This should be an elimination game for them.
Yeah.
They need to think like that.
Yeah. It's like Joe Mazzulla said. It's okay to smile during a war. We've got these guys fucking ready. 16 years ago to this date, we won our 17th.
There's a lot going into that. I mean, the fact that Bill Russell died this year, he was number 6. John Havlicek died this year, he was number 17. And then, who was it? Sam Jones died this year, he was number 24. What's today's date? 6/17/24. What's the area code of Boston? 6/17. And then 16 years ago today, we beat the Los Angeles Lakers in the Garden in 2008. If it's not and
Boston Game 4
and
bring it back home.
To make you a legend, Bill Walton died. Yep. What number was he for the Celtics?
5.
Number 5. What game is this? Game 5. If this isn't fucking written in the stars, then I don't fucking know what is. Because it's all lining up for that to be a magical night in the Garden tonight.
All I hope is they fucking drive it to the fucking hole and stop taking and settling for fucking jump shots.
They need to put their foot on their throat in the first quarter and not give them anything. The longer they keep Dallas in this game, the worse off. Because Luka can make shots, Kyrie can make shots, and then the role players get a little bit of confidence. This first quarter, they need to be up by like 15. They need to just go.
It's got to be a recap of Game 1, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's actually, obviously, like we just said, the 16th anniversary of the last title that the Celtics won in 2008. How about the best bet for tonight's game, guys? What do you guys have for Game 5?
I'm going to back what Pat says here. Obviously, they have to come out on the start. What better than that?
Race to 10.
Please race to 10.
Oh, whoa!
2 games in a row. But it's a lock. Minus 145 on DraftKings.
I'm going with the Celtics minus 2.5 first quarter. I think it's minus 105 as well.
What I took was over 54.5 points in the first quarter for minus 105. We'll give you a full breakdown of Game 5 on our next episode, which will air on Friday. That I didn't say in the start, but I will not be here for.
Hopefully, it's a breakdown of Banner 18, and we're not in panic mode. All right. Well, another Game 4 happened over the weekend. Very similar outcome as well. Florida won game. Oh, we'll talk about game 3 first because we didn't. But Florida won game 3 4-3 to go up 3-0 in the series. But Edmonton made a statement in game 4 for sure. An 8-1 demolishing of the Florida Panthers to make the series 3-1. In game 3, Florida led 4-1 going into third. And Edmonton made a little bit of a run to come back, make it 4-3, but it didn't matter. In game 4, 15 different players recorded a point for Edmonton. That's fucking crazy. Connor McDavid leading the way with a goal and 3 assists. The Oilers have now scored 11 goals in the last 2 games. Oilers only outshot Panthers 35-33, but somehow scored 8 goals off of it. Does not look good for Bob and that Conn Smythe. Skinner made 32 stops and goal, while Bobrovsky was pulled mid-second period.
After his 5th goal?
Yeah, that doesn't do well for the numbers. Do you guys think this performance from Edmonton means anything? Or was it just, we're going to get one, we're going to make it somewhat of a series, not go out on a sweep, kind of like what Dallas did?
Like I said on the last pod, it's done, it's over, cooked, kaput, see you later, Edmonton.
I mean, I feel like the game of hockey is kind of like different, though. I don't know, like beating a team 8-1, especially like probably the Florida Panthers, who probably were the favorites throughout the playoffs to really make it there. I don't know if you guys saw Leon Draisaitl's interview after Game 4, but he was kind of talking about how he has a lot more to give in this series, and I believe it, man. Yeah. I feel like that was like a statement win, 8-1, 4-1. If they won 4-1, then I would say the series is over. But 8-1, come on, they didn't stop.
I think it's the same thing with like Dallas, like. Where was this energy and effort in game 1, 2, and 3? You know, like it's so hard to win 4 games in a row, and now they have to do it. Going back to Florida tomorrow, hostile environment. Florida hasn't lost there in a while. They're playing really, really well. Long plane trip again. You know, would be a lot different if they could go back 2-2, 3-1. I think it's all over. I had Florida in 6, but I think it's going to be Florida in 5.
Oilers in 7.
McDavid is now the leader in points in the finals with 7. He has also passed Wayne Gretzky's record for assists in a single postseason. Florida was obviously ahead in the series 3-0 before the crazy Game 4. Of the previous 210 series that were 3-0 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, there have only been 4 teams to come back and win, 1.9%. Most recently, the LA Kings did it in 2014 playoffs when they did win it all at the end of the day. Game 5 is Tuesday night. We'll talk about that, obviously, on our next episode. A reminder that Florida is looking for their first ever Stanley Cup Finals, and Edmonton is seeking their first in 34 years.
All right, guys, so I'm back in replacing Bobby as we talk about the Copa America 2024 that's starting this Thursday. So another international tournament we got coming up. We're already a good portion of the way through the first group stage games in the Euros, but that tournament's been awesome. We had 3 great games today.
Yeah.
Some awesome games over the weekend. But Copa America starts this week. Canada facing off against defending Copa America and defending World Cup champions Argentina. That's going to be Thursday night at 8 o'clock for the opening game. Some other info on the tournament real quick before we start. The 2024 Copa America will be the 48th edition of the tournament, which occurs every 4 years like the Euros. It is organized by South America's football ruling body, CONMEBOL, this year hosted by the United States for the second time ever, and it's also being co-organized by North and Central America's football governing body, CONCACAF. The tournament is from June 20th to July 14th. CONCACAF? Yeah, you like that?
Not CONCAFA, as our
it's like,
Pat McAfee says.
It always says that?
Yeah.
I believe it's the Confederation of North and Central America something football association. Yeah. I don't know, CONCACAF. But so the tournament runs from June 20th to July 14th, so I believe it ends the same day as the Euros. The winner will play in the 2025 CONMEBOL UEFA Cup of Champions, also known as Finalissima, which last time Argentina won against Italy 3-0.
Is this the first time that Canada, U.S., and Mexico are playing in the Copa America?
I know, no.
Not for US.
U.S. and Mexico have played. I don't think Canada has.
Or maybe Jamaica, too.
We'll have to look that up.
I've seen Jamaica.
Yeah?
I've seen
Because
Jamaica.
I always thought that...
I thought in the there was one a couple years ago that might have only been the South American teams.
That's what, because that would have been during COVID too.
Yeah,
so that would make sense. That's what it was. Yeah.
But let's get into how the tournament works. So 4 groups, 4 teams, so 16 total. Is a little bit smaller than the 24 team and 6 groups in the Euros. Everybody plays 3 games, so one against every other team in their group. After that, the top 2 teams in each group advance to the quarterfinals. So no third place teams get through. It's just the top 2 in every group. So 8 teams moving on out of the 16. From then on, single elimination knockout rounds. Let's go through some of the groups, guys. So Group A, we have defending World Cup champion Argentina, along with Canada, Chile, and Peru. Group B, we have Ecuador, Jamaica, Mexico, Venezuela. Group C, we have Bolivia, the United States, Panama, and Uruguay. And then in Group D, we have Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Paraguay. Before we get into those groups, though, I have been hearing in the rumor mill, the Twitterverse, etc., that Argentina has been kind of given an easy path in this tournament because they're obviously in Group A. Mm-hmm. They don't have to face Brazil, United States, Colombia. They don't have to face any of those, and Uruguay, those top powerhouses, and they wouldn't have to face them until the final because it's already a fixed bracket. Yeah. Winners from Group A face winners from Group B, and those teams
runner up in Group B.
Yep, those 4 powerhouses I just mentioned are in Groups C and D.
Yeah, so that'll be
I
interesting.
didn't realize that's going to be
kind of smooth sailing potentially for Argentina.
If Brazil or Colombia win the group and the U.S. come in second, that's going to be a tough quarterfinal.
Yes, game. It is. Or vice versa. Even if the U.S. come in second or win their group, they'll be playing either one of those 2 teams.
Yep, you're right.
Who come in second in Group D. But let's get into our best groups out of these 4. Pat, why don't we start with you?
I have Group A being the best group. We talked about, obviously, Argentina, just the powerhouse they are. But Canada's been playing well. We talked about the new hire of Jesse Marsh on that team. There's a lot of talent with Jonathan David, Alphonso Davies. They have a bunch of good players. And then Chile always seems to know what they're doing in this tournament. Before Argentina won it in 2020, I think Chile won the previous 2. Yeah. I know they're an older team now. Alexis Sanchez getting up there, Arturo Vidal getting up there all in age. But they seem to know what they're doing in the tournament. And then Peru has been surprisingly done well in the recent international tournaments. Mm-hmm. So I think you look at that Group A, all 4 teams can fight for that, or those 3 teams besides Argentina can definitely fight for that second position, I feel like.
How about you, Lewis? You agree, or you got somebody else?
I have Group D, Brazil, Colombia, powerhouse Brazil, Colombia playing unreal right now. Mm-hmm. Costa Rica they always slip into a major tournament. They always find themselves there.
Is the boy Keylor Navas still playing in goal for them?
I believe he is. If you want to fact check that.
I remember when Costa Rica made that unbelievable run in the World Cup in 2014 or something like that, 2018 maybe, when Keylor Navas was just stood on his head.
He did not play in there last. It doesn't look like it.
No.
Wow.
It doesn't look like it.
No, I'm just really excited for this Brazil-Colombia game, honestly. So,
is that the first game of the group?
No, they face Colombia faces off against Paraguay.
First game, so that's the second game.
Yeah, I believe so.
What about you, Zach? Who do you think is the strongest
All right.
group?
Well, I'm going to disagree with both of you guys just because I like to be different, and I'm going to say that the best group in this is the most balanced group. Some of those groups you mentioned were top-heavy, but I'm going to say Group B is the best group. You guys mentioned Group D and Group A. Those have the best teams maybe in Argentina and Brazil, and then Colombia and Canada as well are 2 very good sides. But Group B, I think, has the best balance. You have a Mexico team that's full of names we know, but is always has been underachieving in the last few years. But they just had a great game against Brazil where they were trailing 2-0 and they came back, tied it, and Brazil scored a late winner. Yeah. So they can compete. They also have Jamaica, and Jamaica's got
I'm very excited about Jamaica. Leon Bailey, Mikel Antonio,
Damari Gray, Antonio.
And then Andre Blake in goal. Yep. That's a very exciting team.
They're a very good team. But Ecuador, we saw at the World Cup, Enner Valencia kind of put that team on his back. He's literally scoring all their goals. So that's a guy a little bit older, I believe, but that's a guy that can put the ball in the back of the net, which is something you need in these big tournaments.
He's just their main scorer.
Yeah. I see that group really just killing each other. And I think that's what this tournament is going to be all about. That's how South American football is played. Yeah. Very, very intense, very physical. So I think that's going to be a very even group, and I think that's the most balanced group.
I would definitely agree with you. I think if you looked at probably the world rankings of these teams, if you look like Ecuador, Jamaica, Mexico, Venezuela, they're all going to be very close to each other. So I think it's a very good point you made, where it might not be the best teams, but they all are very balanced in that group right there.
Oh yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Let's keep talking about some of the big names in these groups. What do you think is a country that might have some trouble with the three other teams in their group? Kind of a big name side, Lewis.
I wrote down after seeing the comments that Ronaldinho made, but I know that was kind of more for like attention. But like Brazil, definitely. I know they have an insane front three, but like you said, this is all about intensity in this Copa America. Especially that Colombia is a rival side against them. They always play against Costa Rica too. I feel like everyone's always at they think Brazil is the one to beat. Yeah, it's always a big game.
They're gonna get everyone's best shot.
How about you, Pat?
I have Chile. I think we talked about it. Chile is getting older. Mm-hmm. We mentioned the big name players that have been through the success of Chile and South American football throughout their career. When you look at that group, there's a possibility where they could finish not third. They could finish bottom of that group. They could lose to Canada. They could definitely lose to Argentina. And I think Peru can definitely give them a run for their money. So I think it would be Chile when you look at it, just the success they've had, and it's a big name, the possibility of not even advancing out of their group.
By the way, everybody, can you tell this guy's from Colombia with his Brazil pick? Yeah. He's ready to see Colombia take down Brazil. I'm ready. I'm gonna pick not a team maybe that's one of the best in this tournament, but definitely a big name country. I'm gonna say Mexico is gonna have the most trouble because their football organization over the past 4 or 5 years has been a dumpster fire. Yeah. With the change in coach and, a lack of talent coming up through their youth systems. But Jamaica's, I think, is better. I think Jamaica is going to win that group, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But I just think that group is going to be so even that I think it's going to take 2 or 3 wins just for Mexico to potentially get through. And I don't think they can have 2 or 3 wins just seeing those 3 other teams. So I think Mexico's a big name that's going to have some trouble. Let's move on, have a little bit more fun now. What's kind of a dark horse that you guys have? Somebody who's an underdog, not one of those top 5 or 6 teams that we mentioned that can potentially make it out of the group and make some noise in the knockout round. Pat?
Well, before we get into that, the only thing that I think Mexico has for its advantage is going to be the crowd. The fact that it's going to be held in the U.S. and most of their games are going to be in the Texas region or in California, where there's a huge Mexican population. They'll have the support of those fans. And as a negative, if they don't perform well, those fans will not hesitate to get on them, throw the beers and do their chants and everything like that. So it can go both ways for Mexico. I think it could be really, really tough for them, or that crowd could be the back and give them a little extra push. But originally, I had Jamaica down, but when you look at it, you think Jamaica should be in the quarterfinals, in my opinion. So I'm going to change that, and I'm going to go with Peru.
Okay.
I truly think that Peru is going to get out of the bracket with Argentina. Just talked about how I think Chile might struggle, but I think Peru has a very good team, and they could definitely, possibly, depending on who they get, they have to play. If they have to play Jamaica in the quarterfinals, that could be a very good game, and they could definitely make some noise going into the
I'm going to stay with that same group, and I'm going to go with Chile. I feel like Chile...
Okay.
Yeah, they're kind of older, but like you said, I'm always about experience. If you knew me, but I'm always about experience, and they've been to this major tournament the last 4 times. I've won it 3 now, so I feel like they'll give Argentina a knock, they'll give Canada a knock, Peru. It'll be good games. I feel like that's a team that don't be surprised if they sweep their way through.
Does that now make or show the fact that Chile's not what they were? If we're now considering them possibly a dark horse, because if like Chile in the past they'd be in the final, they'd be in the semifinals, and now that we're thinking that it's a possibly they might get out of the group, kind of just shows maybe the decline that Chile has had in their national team.
The talent, there's not
that recycling of talent.
Yeah,
coming in every single tournament. They've been running with these same guys for 10 to 14 years now.
Yeah, I think like at least 15. Maybe.
I'll again pick a different side than both of you guys, but it's going to be a team that I talked about in a previous podcast, and my dark horse is going to be Panama. Panama was the runner-up at last year's Gold Cup. They lost in penalties to Mexico. They upset the United States in the semifinal. Their center midfielder, Adalberto Carrasquilla, he won the Golden Ball for the tournament's best player in that tournament. He's a really good player that plays in the MLS for the Houston Dynamo. But that's actually a team that has a lot of experience together as well. They're well coached. I believe their coach's name is Thomas Christensen. They're always tactically prepared for who they go up against, as we saw in last year's Gold Cup. But I think that's a team that can potentially make it out of their group with United States, Bolivia, and Uruguay. As long as they're the second place team, I think that they have a chance to go through. So that's going to be my dark horse.
That would be that would be a huge shock if Uruguay or the United States was not into the quarterfinals.
But would it be surprising? I don't necessarily think so, based on what we've seen in the United States.
I agree. I think it would more be a disappointment.
Totally.
In the fact that the U.S. wasn't able to challenge for the trophy, at least. You have to think them and Uruguay. Uruguay obviously is going to be the favorite getting out of the group, but U.S. has to be that number two, and it shouldn't come down to goal differential. The U.S. needs to put their foot down and say, okay, we easily advanced and maybe give a draw to Uruguay and then win the two other games.
All right, so we've gone over the groups, we've gone over the tournament, we've gone over the teams. Now let's get into some of the players. We mentioned our players to watch for the Euros. Who's your player to watch for this tournament, Lewis?
Come on.
Is his name the same as yours?
Exactly. Okay. Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz from Colombia, baby. I feel like such a young star, and his first major tournament with Colombia, great star from Liverpool, and I feel like he's going to be the key to Colombia's success, especially with kind of having some vets in the squad, in the lineups. So, but he's got to be that. He has to
be the leader of that team name. I have Leon Bailey.
Okay. Jamaica.
Yep. I think that Jamaican side is very, very young, very, very talented. I think he just had a pretty good season with Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Kind of surprising that they qualified for the Champions League. I think that's always been his biggest issue is he succeeds in Europe. Then when he goes back to Jamaica, doesn't really keep the same kind of intensity or that star-studded left foot that he has. So this is going to be, can Leon Bailey make that jump from I'm good in Europe, playing with really good players in Europe on my teams, now can I be the leader of this Jamaican side and really make some noise in this tournament?
To support your point, I've always found it entertaining to watch Jamaica, just the way they play, the players they have, the jerseys they wear, the celebrations, just like everything about Jamaica. It's hard not to root for them when they're on. But I'm going to pick somebody that is a little bit older that we might not have ever really heard from on the international stage. And that's going to be Miguel Almiron from Paraguay. Plays as a winger with Newcastle. I just like the way he plays. I can always resonate with wingers that are, maybe not the best technically, but he has a great work rate.
He's got a super good engine.
Yeah, he absolutely works super hard on getting back and then going forward. Great pace to get around defenders. But does Paraguay even have a chance if this guy's not putting balls in the back of the net?
No.
I don't think so. So my pick for player to watch is going to be Miguel Almiron. He's 30 years old, about 50 caps with the national team for Paraguay. He's only scored about probably 7 or 8 times. But I think I think he can break out, score a few goals, and hopefully, if I'm right, lead his team out of the group stage. Now that we've gone through all that, the final will be held at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. What do we think that's for? On July 14th. Obviously, Messi playing with Inter Miami, but who do you guys see lifting that trophy at the end of this Copa America 2024 tournament? We think it's going to be Argentina lifting their third major trophy in the last 4 or 5 years here?
So I don't have it being Argentina. I think Argentina has, like we talked about earlier, maybe the easiest opportunity to get to the final.
Yeah.
But I truly think Colombia, and this is not because Lewis is my friend or anything like that, or we were wearing the Colombian jerseys, but I really like how this team is playing. I think they have the leader in Luis Diaz who can really show the world that he's one of the top players after he just had a great season with Liverpool. Juan Cuadrado still on that team, a very good leader. I think David Ospina is still their goalkeeper, so they have the talent that was given to them. So I think it could be their trophy to win.
Yeah, Lewis, you're going to agree with Pat's pick for Colombia?
100% agree on that. I feel like they're in unbelievable form. This is like a squad that should have shown their talent in the World Cup if they were to qualify. But now it's the Copa America, and we're going to make a run for it. Plus, if we meet Argentina in the final, we always have some bad blood against Argentina from them knocking us out in the year that they won it. So
I forgot to mention, so Colombia, your two guys' pick, they are plus 1,000 to win this tournament. Argentina currently the favorite at plus 175. Brazil closely behind at plus 225. Uruguay third, plus 500. The United States are, I believe, fifth or sixth best odds at plus 1,200. My pick to win it all, USA, baby. I'm going to be rooting for them. I'm not lying. They're my pick to win this thing. A very rocky last couple weeks with getting drubbed by Colombia 5-1. But it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. Yeah. I think they had a great response with a 1-1 draw against Brazil, where arguably they look like the better team against that Brazil side with all their star power and whatever. But I'm looking at it as they're going to have a kind of desperate mindset, desperation almost, with the pressure that they always have being the United States. I think they should have
hosting the tournament as well.
Of course, you're right. I think they should have no problem getting out of this group with the talent they have. This is arguably one of the most talented teams they've brought to a major tournament with all the guys playing in the top 5 leagues in Europe.
Yeah.
But I think they should get out of the group. I think they should get out of the knockout, the first round, the quarterfinal, because they got to the knockout round of the World Cup. So I think they should surpass that if they're on the right track of their progression.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's not necessarily about who's the better team. It's about who's tactically more prepared. I know that's not Greg Berhalter's strong suit, but I think this U.S. team is ready. They've been playing together for quite some time now with all this core that they have. So why not let it be this moment for them?
Zach, how many goals does Christian Pulisic have?
He doesn't really score that many goals in tournaments so far in his young career. He hasn't had a tournament like Messi or Neymar where he scored 5-6 goals. I think he'll score 2 or 3 goals. So
for me, I'm excited to see what this team is able to do. My biggest question is going to be, who is that number 9 going to be for us? Is it going to be Sargent? Is it going to be Ballinga? Is it going to be Pepe? So I think
Haji Wright also had a
100%. So we know. You got Brendan Aronson, you got Timothy Weah, you got Gio Reyna, you got Christian Pulisic. We're good in those areas. Defensively, we're pretty good. I know the injury to Serginho Dest is kind of definitely going to hurt us. But Anthony Robinson was actually named Player of the Year for Fulham this season. He had a really, really strong season. Matt Turner looked very sharp against Brazil. He's not the best with his feet, but when we need him to make a save, we can. Yes. And then Tim Reed, Chris Richards, the 2 center backs.
Also McKinney and Adams holding down the central
midfield. That was going to be my next thing, was the health of Tyler Adams. A really rough season through injury. Now, will he be able to play as much as we need him?
He usually plays well with Team USA.
He does. He plays really, really well. It's just, will his with all those minutes kind of wear on his body after really not playing an entire season. Yeah. Seeing how he does there, and then the fact that even if we can't, the emergence of Yunus Musa has been really exciting to see. Weston McKennie has been always solid for the U.S. Really good season with Juventus. So it'll just be interesting to see what we do in the midfield. Do we have Gio play the 10? Do we put him out wide? Or do we do Musa, McKennie, and Adams for as long as we can and just ride with that?
Well, I agree. Those are all good problems for USA to have.
I'd rather have a problem of who can I pick than, we actually can only go with,
All right, well, let's do something like we did for the Euros. Now that we've got all our picks out of the way, all our predictions, let's go over who has the best kits for this tournament, who's going to be styling on the field, because you know the old saying, look good, feel good, play good.
Yep.
Lewis, who's got the best kits coming out into this tournament?
Costa Rica.
Okay.
I really like I love the blue and the white.
real descriptive. Wasn't his favorite kit the France one too? Which is blue. Blue.
He likes blue.
Blue and white.
Royal blue
one. Mbappe's white one today was red. It was all bloody.
Pat, who's your best kit in this tournament?
I kind of agreeing with Lou about the color blue. I think it's I like the Paraguay away blue. It's not a light blue. It's not like a full royal. It's kind of a mesh between both. It's a very slick looking kit. Not a lot going on, but the colors are perfect in my opinion.
I'm going to pick one of the best soccer uniforms I think I've ever laid my eyes on, and that's the Argentina kits. The home white with the white and light blue stripes. And then just the gold emblems because they're the World Cup champions. And then their crest, it really just makes the whole thing pop. Their kind of royal blue ones are also really nice. Those are really nice.
Really, with the purplish trim on the sides.
It's another A+ for Adidas. They really hit a home run this year with their international jerseys.
What about Marathon?
I don't even know what that is. I think that's Venezuela or Ecuador or somebody. But Peru's a close second for me. They got also Adidas, but they have a white that has a red sash across the middle. It looks very cool.
Yeah, I think it's just like their flag.
Yeah, no Jamaican away from you guys?
Jamaican away was also cool. It's another Adidas. I'm not even an Adidas guy. I'm more of a Nike guy, but Nike really pooped their pants, dude. Canada's are horrendous.
I cannot mention Colombia's home.
Colombia, the home ones for Colombia.
It's always interesting when you have the big name teams that have a Nike or Adidas, and then you have the other where we talk about a Marathon, or we were looking at Ukraine's when we were doing the Euro one, and it's just I've never heard of these brands before, and then some of the
Panama
jerseys,
is sponsored by Reebok.
Yeah, some of the jerseys it's what did they just fucking take 2 minutes to make this? They're going to be on the world stage for everybody to see. I think you can have a little bit more creativity with it. And it doesn't. The Reebok one is kind of weird. Doesn't Nike own Reebok now?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I think Nike bought Converse and Reebok a little while ago. So
definitely Converse. I don't know about Reebok.
So it's just why wouldn't you just make them Nike?
So we'll give you guys updates throughout Copa America 2024 and throughout Euro 2024. As both those tournaments go on, and then potentially as those knockout stages come out, we might even do a little bracket challenge between the four of us. I'll pass the baton back off to Bobby.
All right, before we move on from soccer, we brought Bobby back in here for some little entertainment.
For us,
pretty much, and for you guys.
For the little
we're going to be naming various soccer players, and Bobby's going to be guessing what country they are from. These players are either competing in the Copa America or the Euros. So, Bobby, you ready?
No.
Let's do 15 names, and we'll see how you do out of 15.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Sure.
Lou will give you an easy one to start, and then they'll gradually get harder.
I'll give you. Thank you. Ilkay Gundogan.
Who?
Please don't do that after every.
No.
Please don't do that.
What country is Ilkay Gundogan from?
God, dude. I'm just gonna go ahead and say Jamaica.
No, Germany.
I had no idea, bro.
What about? Oh, you didn't really give him an easy one to start.
No, he said, "I'll give you an easy one."
I'll give you an easy one. Gianluigi Donnarumma.
I have no fucking idea.
Come on, man.
Say it again.
John Luigi.
Italy?
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. He's
One
got
for two.
one.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right. Alexander Zinchenko.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm going to go with Serbia.
No.
That is
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
I was trying to think of like UFC names that sound like that, like last name.
Let's go Thomas Suchek.
Oh, Jesus. Who? Suchek?
Yeah.
Suchek? God, dude, why do I hate my life? I got fucking no idea.
Gotta guess.
I don't even know what teams I can pick from.
So it's either a European country or South American country. Or Central American or North American.
Oh, thanks. I know. What's Suchek? All right, so it's European.
Yep.
All right, you're warmer.
Getting there. I'm getting there.
5 seconds still.
Western European.
That's not gonna happen.
No. I
3,
got no idea.
2, guess a country.
Just throw a country.
Slovakia.
The Czech Republic. Suchek.
Yeah.
Czech Republic.
Right.
Blue.
Bill, I really hope you got this one right.
I hope I don't.
Alexander Mitrovic.
How would you know that?
Because
Mitrovic.
Oh, yeah.
Serbia.
Hey!
There it is.
Ding, ding, ding. Now,
What are you, 2 for 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we'll
It's
see if Bobby was paying attention because we were saying some players' names.
I was trying to remember some names from countries that you were saying.
Where is
Highly doubt I
Miguel Almiron from?
Oh, fuck.
Zach just said it.
I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot for the moon. Aim for the stars, shoot for the moon.
Would you just say
Hey, I'm trying to build it up. Go Panama?
No, Paraguay.
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 Give him an easy one, guys. Let's get him back on track.
No.
All right.
Fuck me, dude.
Yeri Mina.
Who? Yeri Mina?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeri Mina.
Fucking no clue.
Yeri Mina. Yeri Mina.
Lou, you saying it over and over again is not going to help me get it.
Yeri Mina.
Argentina. I don't fucking know.
Colombia.
Colombia.
Jude Bellingham.
England.
Hey!
That was a quick
Thank you.
one.
Thank you.
There
Thank you
you
for
go.
that. I appreciate that.
0.4
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah.
There you go.
Eduardo Camavinga.
He's from Europe, right?
Yeah.
Eduardo Camavinga.
Technically from a refugee camp in Africa, but his nationality is European.
Camavinga. Why? I've heard you guys say his name so many
So-
fucking times.
What country in Europe has a lot of refugees on their team?
Pat, I have no fucking idea.
Just let him guess.
Nigeria.
France.
It had to be Europe, South America.
What'd I say?
You said Nigeria. That's in fucking Africa.
Whatever.
All
I
right.
heard you say Africa, so Africa's stuck in my head.
Let's go with Romelu Lukaku.
Oh, Panama.
This is great.
All right, wait. Ready? Jeremy Doku.
Dude, you guys are speaking another language to me.
They're both Belgium. Let's go with Big Virgil van Dijk. What is a lot of Van? Van Basten, Van Nistelrooy,
Yeah.
Van Persie.
Van Persie, Van de Ben, Van der Beek.
Van Pelt?
Probably could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
I have no fucking idea, dude.
The Netherlands.
I was going to say Denmark.
No, you would have been off.
It would have been all.
A couple more.
Casper Schmeichel.
Famous father Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, that doesn't help him.
I said this team would have a disappointing tournament.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Give it a guess. Is he European or is he a South American or Central American?
Kasper Schmeichel.
Give it a guess.
I don't even know, dude.
You just
You
got
don't know countries?
No, I can't. Dude, I'm blanking in my head right now. It is all white. There's nothing in here.
There's normally
Take a
nothing
guess.
in there.
Good point.
3 seconds.
I don't fucking know. Panama.
That's crazy.
Kasper Schmeichel.
I don't
Panama.
know, dude.
You just said the fucking country.
That's why I said it. It's Denmark.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Portugal.
Hey, there we go, Bill.
Thanks for an easy one.
Yeah.
You are 4 for 14, by the way.
Should I do a hard one or an easy one? Ricardo Pepi.
I heard you guys saying his name.
Pepi. Little Pepi Steppy?
Brazil.
No. The United States of America.
All right, you guys want to do a couple more?
Yeah,
No.
we'll do a couple more. Let's go with Manuel Akanji.
Yeah, I'm really quizzing you, Bill.
Dude, it's like I'm just gonna go jump off a fucking bridge.
Just guess countries, Bill. It's not that hard to guess countries.
What'd you say again?
Manuel Akanji.
Manu!
Christ, I don't fucking know, dude.
We'll give you a hint. It's,
It's
in Europe.
I was
Yeah.
thinking Europe the entire time,
Okay.
so that doesn't help me much here.
It has not been a country we have named yet.
Why can't I think of any fucking countries, dude? I am just completely
I'll
blanking.
give you a second hint. The country has red in it.
I'll give you an even bigger hint. They're typically known as the peacekeepers. They don't get involved. They
I bet
stay-
you if you tell them what their flag is, you still won't get it.
No,
it has a cross on it.
Sweden.
Nope.
Close.
Switzerland.
Ah,
They stay neutral.
They said red.
They're the peacekeepers. Sweden is
oh,
blue.
blue and yellow.
All right, 2 more each, and then we'll be done.
2 more each.
Blue.
We're gonna stay in Europe here. Andy Robertson. I've said it. I think we've also said it.
There's a hit song about this country going crazy on TikTok. We ain't no Argentina.
Oh, Yup.
But we got John McGinn, Andy Robbo in the back.
Let's take a guess.
England.
No. Scotland.
All right, Pat.
Diogo Jota.
Why did I forget, bro?
No way, dog.
Brazil?
Close.
Portugal.
All right, 1 more each. Make it a good one, though.
Not hard.
Rodrigo. Yeah.
Brazil.
Hey!
I literally whispered to Luis. I go,
Mumbled it.
Pat?
Luis Suarez.
Uruguay.
Yeah.
There you go, Billy.
Hey,
Move it to
All
that.
right, I'm giving you one.
Oh, fuck.
Bukayo Saka.
Ooh, that's a good one.
France.
England. All right. Thanks for playing.
Can I have my paper back? I
Yes, you
hated
can.
that.
What do you get?
He got, including that last one, he got 6 out of 21.
21?
That was just a, hey, let's embarrass Bobby segment. Yeah, well, I got 6 out of 21 right, so thanks for embarrassing me, dickheads.
So maybe have a little bit more enthusiasm.
6 out of 21, man. 28.5%.
A dismal performance from Billy Bob there.
I don't know shit
You
about
threw
it.
out a Nigeria.
I don't know.
That's in Africa.
He said it's in Europe. Nigeria?
If Bobby didn't know something, he went Panama.
I was hoping, but none of them hit.
None of them.
None of them hit. So let's get into some random news in the sports world that happened over the weekend, starting with basketball. Draft prospect and former Illinois standout Terrence Shannon Jr. has been found not guilty in his court case. He was accused of rape and aggravated sexual assault. This case started in December, where he was suspended by the team for 6 games, investigated by the school, dropped due to lack of evidence. and he led the team to an NCAA Elite Eight.
That would have been absolutely crazy if it came out and he was guilty and he just played the entire season.
Yeah, like that's nuts. He's now acquitted and is a projected top 25 pick in this year's NBA draft. NBA Hall of Famer and current TNT analyst Charles Barkley announced that he is retiring from being on TV for next season after what will be 25 years. The 61-year-old said he would not go to another network because he loves TNT. NBA currently is looking to sign a new TV agreement for the future. Caitlin Clark is once again in the news. Many fans online using her name in discussions of racist/homophobic things about other players in the WNBA. Clark said that people should not be using her name to push those negative agendas and that it is not acceptable. Said every player in the league should be treated with the same respect, which I don't get how she's getting so much disrespect.
Dude, the more interviews, the more I start to like her more.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too. She said that she can't control what other people say and tries not to pay attention to it much. Other players in the league did not like those comments and said she should be bothered by her name being used to justify racism and homophobia.
Those other women are just trying to be relevant in the league.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to keep going with the WNBA and Caitlin Clark in the Fever. They also took down Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky this weekend. Clark was seen to take numerous dirty hits during the game, including by Angel Reese, who was given a flagrant foul. Said that other players are getting special whistles.
That's what Reese said.
Yeah, that's what Angel Reese said.
Yeah,
when she literally just elbowed her in the head trying to come out with a block, dude. That's crazy. Clark actually ended up finishing that game with 23 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds in a win.
That's twice now they've beaten the Chicago Sky this year.
Yeah. The two teams meet again this coming Sunday, actually.
Okay. Some other random news. The U.S. Open did not disappoint. I don't know if you guys were watching it on Sunday, but I certainly was. Bryson DeChambeau won his second career U.S. Open championship on Sunday. Shot a -6 for the tournament, beat out Rory McIlroy, who choked a 3-foot putt on the final hole.
His pants.
He did it twice, too.
Yeah, in the 16th and 18th. That's nuts.
DeChambeau successfully hit the green on a tough bunker shot to set up the major clinching putt. That bunker shot was unbelievable.
Insane.
And the shot before the bunker shot, too?
He had such a hard angle.
Yeah, he had a terrible
to get himself
drive
out of that, and then just to be able to flop a bunker shot on those really quick greens to then stick. Because if he bogeyed, they were going to a playoff.
They said nobody had gone up and down on that bunker for the entire tournament.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. McIlroy was seen immediately leaving the course and declined questions from the media. Okay, he lost. Let him leave. There were so many tweets where Rory McIlroy sped off the scene without taking interviews from people. You look at the video. He politely was pulling out of in the car, waiting for people to walk past, and was just driving away. Yeah, he just lost the fucking U.S. Open.
I will say too, Brooks also skipped Koepka. He also skipped the interview too, and he did it over text.
Yeah. It's not their job to talk to you. Go talk to Bryson. What are you going to ask? Oh, what was going through your head when you missed that putt? I don't fucking know. I wasn't trying to miss the putt, but I did. Literally.
Yeah.
We'll go U.S. Open over. Back into the football world. In the NFL, the Super Bowl 58 champions, Kansas City Chiefs, received their Super Bowl rings over the weekend. Over 400 rings were made for their players and staff.
Now, does one of those go to Taylor Swift?
Has to, right?
Yeah, honestly.
Each ring contains 529 diamonds, 38 rubies, and 14.8 carats of gems.
That's insane.
Second straight championship and third in the past 5 seasons. The rings feature the 25-22 overtime score with the Super Bowl 58 logo on one side. Also contains the details of their game-winning touchdown play called Tom and Jerry on the inside of the ring in Coach Andy Reid's writing. No team has ever won 3 straight Super Bowls. They will try and do it again. Trevor Lawrence just got fucking paid a lot of money. 5 years, $255 million contract extension, $200 million guaranteed, and $142 million at signing. $37.5 million signing bonus. Deal starts in 2026 and will run through 2030. Tied with Joe Burrow for highest annual average in the NFL, which is just crazy. He has done nothing to prove that he is an elite quarterback, and now he's getting paid.
Came back from 31-3 down at halftime. That's kind of it.
That's all he's done. The Jaguars were supposed to be this really good team with all the stars, And then absolute dumpster fire at the end of the year, missing out on the playoffs this year. They beat a terrible Chargers team with Brian Staley or Dan, whatever the coach's name.
He's terrible.
He was just awful. But now it just raises the quarterback market even more. Tua's going to be looking for an extension.
Yeah.
Dak's going to get an extension. Brock Purdy eventually is going to get paid. So you're telling me that Dak is going to now get about probably $300 million?
Yeah. And you're telling me that Trevor Lawrence should be getting paid the same exact as Joe Burrow? No. There's zero shot.
I don't know if you guys mentioned, but Mahomes isn't even top 5 quarterback, which is crazy.
Because he has 10 years, $500 million?
Yeah.
Calais Campbell has just signed with the Miami Dolphins.
At least 37?
37 years old, entering his 17th NFL season. Played in every game last year with the Falcons. Dolphins also added Shaq Barrett earlier this offseason.
How does the Dolphins have the money to sign these guys?
Because they're doing it for 1 year.
Yeah, but they're already
League
negative in the
minimums?
cap this year. Maybe if it's league minimums, that would make sense.
The Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins has signed a franchise tender to remain with the team. T. Higgins was not present at any of the Bengals offseason activities while waiting for a new deal. T. Higgins will earn $21.8 million this season under the tag. I'd fucking sign that for $21.8 million for one season. Are you kidding me?
But the tag is kind of like a
Prove it.
insult type thing for.
Because it's just a 1 year prove it thing.
I get what you're saying. The United Football League, I guess, was playing.
Mm-hmm.
The Birmingham Stallions defeated the San Antonio Brahmas 25-0 to win the inaugural United States Football League championship game on Sunday. Third straight title for the Stallions, who won back-to-back USFL championships in 2022 and 2023.
Wow,
what a game!
What a dynasty!
What a game!
Dynasty that nobody knows about.
They should play against the Chiefs for who's the actual best team in the United States.
Finalissimo.
Yeah. Former LSU head coach Les Miles is suing LSU for vacating wins in response to an NCAA infraction case. The move dropped Miles below the threshold for College Football Hall of Fame qualification. Coached at LSU from 2005 to 2016, LSU vacated 37 of those wins because of recruiting violations due to a former player's parent receiving impermissible benefits. The vacated wins come from that player's career from 2012 to 2015 under Miles. LSU went 37-12 during that stretch. Do we know who the player is?
Yeah, it's
Not a big name.
I didn't recognize it.
Miles' record went from 145 wins and 73 losses to 108 wins and 73 losses. That's a big fucking difference. Coaches must have a win percentage of .600 and at least 100 wins to qualify for the College Football Hall of Fame.
So he doesn't have the 600 anymore because of that.
Because of
That's crazy.
Miles won a national championship with LSU in 2007, as well as 2 SEC titles.
Nice. All right. Some news in the MLB. Mookie Betts is going on the IL.
Got hit by a pitch.
Yep. Fracturing his left hand. He was hit by a pitch Sunday against the Royals. 97.9 miles an hour. Imagine taking that to the wrist. That's won't require any surgery for him, but there's no timetable yet for his return. He's batting a .304 this season. Is top 5 in the league in both hits and OBP. He joins their ace Yamamoto, who is on the 15-day IL with a strained rotator cuff.
They actually got put on the IL together within legit 30 minutes of each other.
Really?
Yeah, it was insane.
That's nuts.
It was Mookie, then it was Yamamoto that was put on.
Wow. Let's stick with baseball. Houston Astros released their former AL MVP, Jose Abreu. Jose Abreu owed him $30.8 million. 37-year-old was hitting 124 this year. That's good. That's 2 home runs, 7 RBIs.
As my stepdad says, he wasn't even batting his weight.
Yeah, that's like some Joey Gallo numbers right there.
He was already in the minors for about a month, so kind of smart for them. MLB umpire Pat Hoberg is being disciplined for violations of the league's gambling policy. More people betting in the MLB, huh? Like we said, it's going to be a continuation story.
It's never going to go away.
The exact discipline is unknown, but Hoberg has not umpired a game this year. Hoberg is appealing the discipline and denied betting on baseball.
Yeah, the game that he fucking supposedly gambled on was one of the best performances of an MLB umpire. He was like 97.6% on called strikes or something, some shit like that.
Yeah. As we mentioned in a previous podcast, MLB will hold a game at Rickwood Fields this Thursday night. It's the oldest professional ballpark at 114 years old in Birmingham, Alabama. The game will be between San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals. The former home of the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro League. Former MLB legend Willie Mays played there with the Barons. Let's move on.
I think that's where Jordan played too.
Jordan?
Michael Jordan?
No, he played for the White
White
Sox
Sox.
Double-A team.
Yeah, where
It
the
was-
Barons.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It
That's
wasn't.
why.
like-
That's why he has the shoes, the Baron 9s.
Yeah, but it wasn't the Negro League team.
No, but
It
I think it was in
It was the Birmingham Barons,
Barons.
but it wasn't
I think-
this. team.
yeah.
It was
Oh.
a different team.
That's where he has the Baron 9s like colorway and stuff like
It
that.
might have been. It was.
Nice
It
one.
was in the Southern League.
Yeah.
Birmingham Barons.
Oh, wait, that was you.
It
Sorry.
was both
Nice
of us,
one.
actually, technically.
That was more Pat.
All right, keep going.
Let's move into the octagon here. Breaking news in the UFC. Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler will no longer fight at UFC 303 on June 29th in Vegas. He withdrew, like we kind of talked about, kind of touched upon how he didn't really look like he was getting fight ready. He withdrew to an undisclosed injury.
I can tell you what it is. It's fucking can't breathe out of his nose
Probably.
from all the fucking powder he's been putting up there.
It's
I'm sorry, did you call Conor McGregor a pussy?
Not wanting to fight Michael Chandler, bro.
But
No.
Michael Chandler bailed
But-
first.
Dude, but everything leading up to it the whole entire time was legit all Conor McGregor being like, oh, well, it has to be this, so it has to be this, it has to be this. It always gone over for it had to be McGregor's side, and Michael Chandler just had to say, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
One,
'cause it's
he's Conor McGregor.
It's
Yeah.
McGregor.
Two, I'd like to see you get in a fucking octagon with that man.
There's a difference between.
I don't know. You're calling him out
Well,
as
to
a
go-
pussy.
For not wanting
Well-
to fight Michael Chandler?
Well, to go against it here, it's his first time ever pulling from a fight in his career. So, he's not a pussy.
Well, I'm saying right now because of everything that happened.
The new main event now is Alex Pereira and Jiri Prochazka.
Well done, Lou.
Arguably, it'd be a better fight.
It would
Yeah.
definitely be a
It
better
absolutely
fight.
will.
UFC 303 was already sold out. It was on pace to set a record for ticket sales with over $20 million. That's crazy. Fight has not been rescheduled yet, but Conor McGregor did say he will face Chandler at some point in the future. So
It'll be like Mike Tyson fighting,
Jake Paul. Or Logan Paul.
like Roy Jones when they were like both 55 years old at this point.
Let's get to the more exciting UFC news for me.
I'm so
fucking
man.
ready.
Israel Adesanya is back, baby. He has announced his return to the octagon. He previously said he would not fight until 2027, but he is coming out of his hiatus and coming back in, baby.
Oh,
He's going to face Dricus Duplessis.
Duplessis.
that's the South African guy, right? He's a monster as well.
Duplessis is disgusting.
Well, they had the beef about.
Keep going.
Okay.
They're going to be fighting at UFC 305 in Perth, Australia on August 17th. He has not fought since he lost his title to Sean Strickland last September at UFC 293. Strickland was then stripped of his title by Duplessis at UFC 297 this past January. The two-time middleweight champion will face a huge rival in Duplessis. The two have major beef, as you guys were about to say, since Duplessis said he'd be UFC's true African champion out of South Africa. This was a knock to Adesanya, who was born in Nigeria but now lives in New Zealand.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah, that's
It's gonna
a
be
great fight
it's
to
gonna
watch.
be interesting though how they're gonna make it work that it's in Australia and then
the
like the time and everything like that when it's
Yeah.
actually gonna be around here. But
That's true.
They normally when it is overseas, like over
do it
there,
in the
like that.
afternoon.
It's like early morning, afternoon.
I
fights for
understand,
us.
but Australia is like 24 hours, like
That's true.
18 to 24 hours ahead.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like you want it to get for us to be like the midnight time, like normal, like what time would have to be there.
Yeah.
Well,
They'll figure it out. Dana's smart. He'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
what time it is in Australia right now? It's 8:21 a.m. So that's a 14-hour difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll probably just do it in the morning.
Let's move on to the ring now. Boxing. Gervonta Tank Davis improved to 30-0 over the weekend with an 8th-round knockout against Frank Martin. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was an insane uppercut. And
Was
then
it?
just knockout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. 28 of Davis's 30 wins have come by knockouts. Martin was previously undefeated, but now he fell to 18.
Did you also see that Ryan Garcia was ringside and had the shirt on that said like "Fight me, bitch"?
Oh,
and stuff
I did
like
see that. Yeah.
Was dabbing each other
he
up.
already beat Ryan. What's his name? Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
That was his last one before
Yeah.
Martin. I would not want to face off with that guy. 28 out of 30 knockouts.
Now we'll just finish up some random news, some news in the soccer world again, starting on the women's side with the U.S. men's national team. Women's national team, excuse me. They have dropped to 5th in the latest world rankings. That is absolutely bananas. Lowest ever ranking since FIFA started ranking women's soccer in 2003. Before 2024, they were never lower than the top 2. Spain, France, England, and Germany are all ahead of the U.S. ahead of this Summer Olympics.
That's crazy.
Lionel Messi said last week Inter Miami will be his last club. Admitted there is not a lot of time left for this 36-year-old soccer player. 8 Ballon d'Ors, Champions League winner, La Liga winner, Copa America winner, and World Cup winner.
He did soccer at 35.
Fantastic if he signs a one-day deal with Barca.
He probably will. Why would it be on me? It'd be on him.
I
would love that.
American coach Fabian Hurlizer has been named the next manager of English Premier League side Brighton. He guided FC St. Paul to promotion to the Bundesliga this past season. 31-year-old from Houston, Texas, will be the youngest full-time Premier League manager and will be the 4th from the United States. That's interesting.
Youngest ever. Wow, that's awesome.
4th ever.
First ever youngest, yep. Some news from the Euros. Albania scored the fastest ever goal at the Euros in a 2-1 loss to Italy on Saturday. I was excited for you for a little while, and then
23 seconds to the game.
All the goals were scored in the first 15
it was
minutes.
literally a terrible throw in by DeMarco that Albania was able to pick up on and then scored near post on Donnarumma. Slovakia beat Belgium today. I was actually watching that game. Biggest upset by FIFA ranking differential in Euro history. Belgium was number 3 in the world. Slovakia was number 48.
Go Slovakia.
I mean,
you should have bet them.
I know, dude.
Serbia, man.
Belgium scored 2 goals that were called back, one for an offsides and then one for a handball.
Wow.
Thanks, VAR.
Yeah. Christian Eriksen scored the opening goal for Denmark in their 1-1 tie over with Slovenia. Goal comes 3 years after Eriksen suffered cardiac arrest during a game in the Euro 2020 match.
That was really that long ago.
Yeah. It was everyone like
I thought it was more recent.
That was
no,
It was
because
2021, but at Euro 2020, so 3 years ago.
yeah, because I mean everyone thought his career was over, and then he went to like a lower level Premier League side after being on Inter Milan for a while. And then now he's back with Manchester United. It's good to see. Other updates: Jude Bellingham led England to a 1-0 win over Serbia with a goal, which England did not look very good. If we're being honest, Germany did look very, very good. A 5-1 thumping over Scotland. Spain also looked very, very good with a comfortable 3-0 win over Croatia. Netherlands lead their group after coming back to beat Poland 2-1. Switzerland beat Hungary 3-1, and Romania defeated Ukraine today. France is not on here, but the game did finish. France did win 1-0 against Austria today. Bigger news, though, Kylian Mbappe had to leave the match after looking like he probably broke his nose. Was going for a header, headed the ball. His follow-through came onto opponent's shoulder, then had to leave the match. So that'll be more interesting news because if he's out for the tournament, that would be massive.
Yeah. All right, to finish the episode, we have Washed Up Wagers. Here's a recap from last episode, the slate of June 14th to June 16th. Lewis is in first place and is now 9-3 after going 2-1 last episode. His wins were the Yankees, who beat the Red Sox on Friday, only win this series, and in Switzerland, who beat Hungary 3-1 on Saturday. His loss was Luka Doncic over 3.5 threes in Game 4, where he went 0 for 8.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah. A reminder, his series pick for the NBA Finals is Celtics to cover -1.5.
Looking
Games in the series.
Tonight.
Close it out tonight. His series pick for the Stanley Cup Final is Connor McDavid to have the most points in the series, and he is currently leading.
Last episode wasn't looking good. After Game 4, looking
real good.
Pat is in second place with an 8-4 record after going 1-2 again last episode. His win was the Astros, who beat the Tigers on Friday. His losses were Spain and Croatia to both score. Spain ended up winning 3-0. He also took Luka Doncic over 32.5 points in Game 4, where he ended with 29.
That game was any closer, he would have had over 32.5
Yeah.
points.
Oh, yeah.
And Croatia missed a penalty kick.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
A reminder, his series pick for the NBA Finals is under 5.5 games.
Let's go, baby.
Gotta be tonight. Gotta be tonight.
His series pick for the Stanley Cup Finals is Bobrovsky to win the Conn Smythe Trophy, which after Game 4...
letting in 5 does not look great.
I am now 5-7 after going over 3 last episode. All my losses were Colin Morikawa to finish top 10 in the U.S. Open. He finished tied 14th. Drew Holiday over 23.5 points, rebounds, assists. He ended with 15 combined. In Serbia to defeat England at the Euros, and they lost 1-0 and looked good all game. A reminder, my series pick for the NBA Finals is for there to be 2 road wins in this series, which
That looks like it's done
terrible.
and dusted.
I don't care, whatever, it's over. My series pick for the Stanley Cup Finals is for there to be a total of 6 games.
Which is possible.
Which is still possible, but we never know.
No. All right. Let's do our 3 picks. We have tonight's game. All of us are going to, I think, put a bet in, and then we have it for Tuesday. All right, so I'll start with my 3 picks. I have the Celtics minus 2.5 first quarter, minus 105. I have Portugal money line tomorrow, minus 205. And then I have Connor McDavid to score a goal anytime at plus 135 against the Panthers tomorrow. That is a plus 582 value, $10 to get you 68.26.
Who's Portugal playing, Pat?
It's Portugal is playing the Czech Republic.
Got it.
That is
all right.
it.
Cheshire. For my 3 picks, I have Peyton Pritchard to get a 3 tonight at a minus 120.
Ooh,
I have
I
for
like
the hockey game, I have to be over for at least 1 goal to be scored in the first 10 minutes of the game at a minus 120. And then I have Croatia money line against against Albania at a minus 225. That's a plus 385. $10 wins you 48.54.
All right, Billy Bad Bets, another 0-3 performance coming.
Make sure
Fade me. I took the Dodgers money line versus the Rockies tomorrow night.
Oh, so the Rockies are going to win now.
I took Turkey money line versus Georgia, so go bet Georgia. And I took over 54.5 points in the first quarter of the Celtics-Mavs game. Plus 408 odds, $10 for 50.82.
not another plus 2,000.
No, dude, that was outrageous.
As soon as you put it in,
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that far
it
off.
wasn't good.
It wasn't that far off.
How can you say it wasn't far off? You went 0-3. You didn't even win one.
Because Morikawa was legit 4 places off from top 10s.
Yeah.
Serbia lost by 1 goal.
Yeah.
And then Drew's had 15 points.
Yeah, you were way off with the Drew one.
Yeah, but like the other 2 were
Well, that's
pretty
like
fucking close.
saying my game as well. Croatia missed a PK.
Yeah, exactly. Which you said.
And then if that game was any closer, Luka would have definitely had over 29.5 points.
Hey, broken clock's right twice a day.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
Blind squirrel would find the nut or it'd be dead.
Anyways, thank you guys for joining us for episode 19 of the Washed Up Sports Podcast. We release new episodes on YouTube, Spotify every Tuesday and Friday. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Our usernames for those can be found in the description below. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay washed.
Let's go Celtics!